Hi, my name is Rob Berry. I'm a car accident and injury lawyer. I have other areas of practice, including commercial litigation, but I'm here today to talk to you about car accident and injury cases and answer the question of when do you need a lawyer, when should you talk to a lawyer, and maybe a little bit about what questions to ask and maybe even answer a few of those questions. I intend to do a series on car accident injury questions and what to ask and what to be thinking of. I want to do a real short video here, 5 or 10 minutes. But the question is when should you talk to an attorney when you're in a car accident? The answer is when should you talk to an attorney is always. You at least want to know, are your rates going to go up? Who's at fault? Who's going to be paying for everything? What should you do? Maybe even some advice on which body shop to use, which repairs to get. Do you have a diminution in value claim to your vehicle? Sometimes for newer vehicles or low mileage vehicles, you might have a diminution in value claim. In other words, there's two vehicles and you're a buyer and the vehicles are this exact same vehicle and same price. One has been in an accident and one hasn't. Which do you pay more for? The one that hasn't. So that's basically what a diminution in value claim is. So you should, anytime you're in an accident, you should always talk to an attorney to advise you on your insurance coverage and your benefits and what to do and how to get your car fixed and deductibles and everything like that. When should you retain an attorney? And you should meet with the attorney, and if you feel comfortable with the attorney and understand what they do for you, then if you're injured, you should, I believe in any case that you're injured, with very, very few exceptions. In other words, if you just went to urgent care once or something like that and you never had any problems, something like that, that could be an exception, but I still think you should talk to an attorney. Here's a few things to think about, and first I'm going to tell you basically what does an accident injury lawyer do for you. Basically, the very first job is to recover as much money as possible for you, to compensate you for your pain, suffering, trouble, and inconvenience. That's the basic job, but there's a number of things that go into that, and a number of things that a good car accident injury lawyer should do for you. One is to advise you on your property loss, to make sure that you get the maximum value for your vehicle, to make sure you're compensated for your loss of use, to look to see whether you have a diminution in value claim, whether you had any other property that was lost or damaged in the accident. Make sure you're in a rental right from the beginning, a direct bill rental to the other guy's insurance company or whatever the best situation is for you. But number one is to advise you on your property damage. Number two is to build the best case for you. And I've met with many people over the years that have had very serious injuries that weren't properly documented, and unfortunately there was very little value to their case because there wasn't the evidence to show their injury. So number one is build the best case for you, whether that's witnesses, putting an investigator on it, an accident reconstructionist, or more commonly, to advise you on getting the best medical care and getting the right medical care and getting you better to whatever extent it's possible for you to get better. I can't stress how important that is. And there's many good doctors out there that aren't good car accident injury doctors for one reason or another. Either they don't document things, they don't refer you when you may need a referral, they don't, whatever it is. But to get you into a good doctor that will wait for payment until your case settles, to treat you without any out-of-pocket costs, and that'll build a really good case for you and to allow you to maximize your in-pocket recovery, to be close to you and convenient for you, all of those things, many other things that I'm not talking about here. But that's the first job. The second job is to recover as much as possible for you, and for your pain, suffering, trouble, and inconvenience, for your wage loss, and you do need an attorney for that. And I've heard so many horror stories about people that try to go at it alone and try to settle their case without an attorney, and for one reason or another they get stuck. And let me give you a couple of common ones. One is the insurance carrier deceives you and gets as much information as possible from you and then uses that information against you. That's one thing that happens all the time. You sign medical releases that give them unfettered access to all of your medical bills ever, and then they say, well, you know, when you fell off a tree when you were 3 years old, or when you, it's maybe a little bit extreme, but when you went into the ER for this sports injury on your ankle, we think that's related, or whatever it is. So we don't recommend that you do that. You should always talk to an attorney first. Talking to an attorney is the only person that will have only your interest at heart. Even your insurance carrier, that may not, and in fact, in many cases, and I believe many more cases than are, be true. So talking to an attorney is the only person that can have your interest first, and to advise you on what the best course of action is for you. The other thing that happens a lot, and I see a lot, is someone settles their case. They say, yeah, I don't really care about getting any money in pocket. I maybe get a couple $100s in pocket or something like that. And they settle with the other guy's insurance, or even their own insurance, and then all of a sudden their health insurance is threatening to sue them or suing them because their health insurance is entitled to be paid back. That's a huge pitfall. And dealing with the health insurance carriers, any liens, any other providers. Sometimes people settle their case, and here's another example, and they think they have enough to pay off all their bills, and then they realize that, well, when I went to the hospital, unfortunately, the hospital bill wasn't the only bill. There's an ER physician's bill. There's diagnostic for the CAT scan or for something else. So I've seen this stuff happen before, and I've seen it happen to very sophisticated people. So that's one very big reason that I recommend that when you're in a car accident case and you're injured, you should absolutely talk to an attorney and go through things very carefully with the attorney. Next is the other reason why you need an attorney when you're in a car accident case is understanding your own benefits. You may not know whether you can use your auto insurance benefits such as MedPay, and to what extent you can use it, what the best way to use it is. You may have other benefits that you don't even know about. There's a little known, sometimes AAA, the roadside assistance, has medical or other benefits depending on which plan you have. You may have benefits through your employer, you may have benefits through health insurance, or a number of other places. So understanding your own benefits, using your own benefits, and knowing what you can use without your rates going up. And a good car accident attorney can advise you on that. I work, and to be honest, the way most car accident injuries lawyers work is on contingency fee. You don't, for me, you don't pay me anything down, nothing up front, nothing by the hour. We're paid only out of what we recover. You'll never get any kind of a bill, no matter what happens. Contingency means if turns out something crazy happens, like the other guy doesn't have insurance, you thought you had insurance but you didn't pay the bill, something like that. Contingency means a percentage of zero recovery is zero, so you don't owe me anything in an instance like that. I advance all costs on the case, and the only way that I'm paid is out of recovery. Whether your injury, and I hate to use the word serious because I've had many people with minor impact collisions, low property damage collisions that have serious injuries, even your headaches, your neck pain, your back pain, your whiplash, I consider those serious. So no matter what level your injury, I've handled cases from wrongful death, unfortunately, to very catastrophic injury, to orthopedic injury, to disc injury, and many sprain, strain, whiplash cases. Whatever the level of your injury, please talk to an injury lawyer. I very strongly recommend it. I've seen so many people stuck that did not. I'd love to take your calls. My website is www.law, L-A-W-N-A-Z, like law in Arizona, but lawinaz.com. My phone number is 480-491-7665. That's lawinaz.com, 480-491-7665. My name is Rob Berry. Thank you so much for listening. I sure appreciate it.